Whoa, what is up? Hello, YouTube. It is us, Seneca College, right here, the 2D stream coming at you right into your eye holes, whether you like it or not. And you probably tuned in because you like it, because here we are. We're going to show some cartoons, some leicas, which are the storyboards set to sound and timing. And we have the wonderful, whimsical 2D stream here at Seneca. That's the third year. So these are our grad students, and they're making cartoons as groups. Whether they want to or not, they're as groups making 3 wonderful cartoons. So we're going to check those out very momentarily. I think there's some sound effects. We're going to turn that off. But people are liking things. Oh man, I got to go into the settings now. How awkward is this? Mute video stream. I know. I know.
Every time one of us gets scared.
It's just my last remaining brain cells.
Facebook video stream. Account. General. Play app sounds. It's off. All right, we're good. We're good. Look at that. We solved it. All right, so first off, we're going to give you the ground rules. We're going to play 3 cartoons. We got the groups here. But what we want is you guys at home and our live studio audience. Give it up for our live studio audience out there, folks. So we want you guys to make these cartoons better. So as we play them, as you saw in the credits, then take notes and say, I like this, or I don't like this, or I don't like any of it. And put it in the comments as it scrolls down. And all joking aside, we want your comments because we want to make these cartoons better. So put the comments in there. We're going to review them after we go through. How it's going to work is we're going to play 3 cartoons. One group is going to introduce it. So we have Homegrown coming up first. Then we're going to go into End of the Line. And then we're going to go into Clouded. We're going to play the cartoon. We're going to give a short presentation. And then we're going to spin it around to you guys and ask questions. So I'm going to shut up. And we are going to hand it off to the Homegrown director. So please give it up. Give it up.
For coming, and thank you for tuning in. I'm Daniela, and I had the pleasure of directing the first film that we're going to show today, Homegrown. At its core, it's basically just a film about a lonely lady and her weird radish child. This is the Leica. I'll let it speak for itself.
I'll do it. I'll do it. Here we go, folks. First cartoon. Ooh. And we are back, and the audience is eating it up. Give it up there, audience. Too loud. Blown out the speakers, guys. All right, so we're going to give it up for our team now. Our team's going to come back here, and we're going to tell you a little bit about the making of this cartoon. So, guys, come on in. Come on in. And we're going to flip it around here to the screen. And we got some picture-in-picture action happening, but this is how it's going to work. It's a little snuggly. But yeah, come in. You guys are in the bottom corner here, and you can flip through, and we'll go into a slideshow.
Lovely. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed our humble.
It's a little chuggy.
Is it?
It's going. It's going. And we're there. All right, go. Take it away.
We did it. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. I directed this, and I'm very excited to continue working on it. Shout out to Brandon Skelton, by the way, for that very nice score demo. Very excited to hear the ending of that one. Our synopsis is basically our protagonist. Her name is Shell. She lives in a gloomy city and finds herself with little to no direction in life. She's kind of lonely. And when a living baby radish magically emerges from her garden, she stops everything to raise him as her own. And I will pass this on to Veronica, our storyboard lead.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Veronica Popov. I'm the storyboard lead for Homegrown. And we had 4 board artists working on the Leica that you saw, but of course many others were working on the whole story altogether. And what you're seeing in these slides right now is obviously very different from what appeared in well, not totally the same scenes, but it is the same story, but different beats. So what you're seeing is that the storyboarding process is quite an iterative process. So the first ideas are not always the ones that end up in the final, but all of them, regardless of what ends up on the cutting room floor, are all very crucial to getting to the point that we reached at the very end. So I'm very proud of our board team and the team as a whole with what we've accomplished. So I think we can all say that what we've put together is more than what we could have done individually. So I will pass this off to Kale.
Hi, I'm Kale. I'm the rigging lead for our film. So what we do with rigging is we take the character designs that Danny has made and we cut up into bits and essentially make like a paper doll with it that the animators can use to animate with. I've been primarily working on Shell. I've got some screenshots of her on the right. It's been an interesting experience taking like a character and turning it into a rig like this, especially with like her skin tight clothing and her bandana and making that all work. I also have a rigging co-lead, Lizzy, who will come up later to talk about the character that she's working on. But I'm going to pass it over to Ashley to talk about Baby Bram. If that's going to work.
Hi, I'm Ashley. I am on the rigging team, but I'm also production management, so I take care of managing the team and making sure everything's getting done. So I worked on Baby Bram and turning him into a puppet rig. The challenge I faced was he has some difficult elements as he is a bean, so he has multiple different parts. However, what was also difficult was attaching those parts and allowing them to move in such a way too that works with a puppet, because his line art is separated, and as you can see there's gaps in the line art, so that's where difficulties arise in making the rig. Now I will pass it off to Lizzy to talk about Teen Bram.
Hello, I'm Lizzy. I'm the other rigging lead along with Kale, and I worked primarily on Teen Bram. And just like Ashley said, rigging Bram, all the stages of his life was a little bit difficult because unlike Shell, who has clothing that you can kind of hide stuff with, Bram is a very seamless character, so his head connects to his arms, his torso connects to his legs, without any lines in between. So it's kind of hard to fit those pieces together in a way that doesn't break the entire thing. So it was definitely a challenge working on this kind of character that doesn't really have any clothing. It looks very simple, but it's quite difficult. And shout out to Skye, another member of our team who couldn't be here today. She primarily worked on adult Bram. And she kind of faced similar challenges to me and Ashley with trying to get all the limbs and everything to work and fit together. But overall, we kind of helped each other figure out this this difficult process of rigging what should be a simple character, but turns out to be really difficult. So now I'll pass it off to Mindy.
Hello, my name is Mindy. I am the layout lead from Homegrown. I'm mainly working on location designs for Shell's apartment and the city landscape for now. The challenge I'm facing before was that I have never really done city before. It's mainly like interior designs. And this time I get to work on the outside area of the city. It's really challenging, but it's really fun to work with. And the other challenge I was having is the style as well. My style was mainly more towards to the realistic side, and Faiza, the art director, she designed this cartoony style. It's really fun to work on, and now it's coming along and everything. Yeah, and this is the city that we're working on as well. And yeah, I will pass it on to Faiza.
Hello, my name is Faiza. I'm the art director / color lead for this film. I am responsible for making a design Bible for the layout team to work off of. I did some location designing, and I did this color script that you see before you. A color script is basically a visual map for the people in our team to reference off of for what the film will look like at different stages. So we used blues in the beginning to highlight how lonely Shell is feeling. It gets warmer as it progresses, as she's living her life with Baby Bram. We opted for more red tones towards the conflict scene, and at the end, at the resolution, it settles down into
more orangey, peaceful vibes. Yeah, and now back to Danny. All right. Yeah, so we skipped this one. I was the character design lead, so I did all the rotations and the character designs. I also did want to sort of show off like these little side characters that we did. In the Leica, you did see there were 3 children. So that was fun to work on because I literally just copy pasted this. I designed one body and then just sort of copy pasted elements. So that was fun and that got the process done really quickly. And also towards the end, you also see a crowd. That was fun to work with. I made it very shapy. Of course, with animated crowds, you have to manage it smartly. You can't make it too complicated. So on the top there is the crowd rig for one of the shots, for like the further shot, and then those hands are going to be animated. So that was a fun thing to rig as well. And then once in those closer shots, you can see a little bit more details, but not too much. And I'll pass this off to Ashley, our prop lead.
Hi again. Obviously, you know my name's Ashley. I worked on the prop designs. This was a really fun thing to do and see how the props would work within the environment. I also got a lot of help with from the art director Faiza and Mindy. They were really helpful, as well as Ashley contributed to the props design as well. And I will also pass this off to Ashley M.
Hi, so I'm the other Ashley. I just want to say a big thank you to our team. No one part could work without the other, especially for me with sound effects. I'm going to play one of the scenes with no sound, and then one with it, and explain the importance of it. And then this one is with sound. Oh, I see. Okay, thanks. Okay, so sorry for the technical difficulties. For the first bit with no sound, you could see that it didn't have the same kind of impact. So sound effects really just add kind of more impact to certain scenes. The door slam really enforces that Shell really doesn't want Bram to leave, and the way she's pushing it is really like loud and basically saying it's not like a gentle push. It's more like, hey, I really don't want you to leave. And that's basically what sound effects is basically taking what storyboard has given you and kind of adding sound to that and trying to decide what sound will fit the storyboard best. So that's kind of what sound is. Okay, I'm passing it on to Conor. Thank you.
Wow, I get a musical intro. This is great.
And shout out to Conor for doing the voice for Baby Bram last night, for Adult Bram last night.
Okay. Yes, hello, I'm Conor. I'm one of the co-animation leads on Homegrown. So while we've only just started to touch on animation, it has been part of our planning since day one. When working through the storyboard with Danny, with Veronica, and with Evan, we've been trying to keep the sanity of our animation team in mind, so that comes into play when we're picking the composition for shots, as well as the complexity of the acting. And so when next semester it becomes time for animation to start in full swing, we'll kind of work through a general pipeline where we begin with those storyboards that you've seen here today, then start working into figuring out the exact posing and timing of the shot. Then we start into animating it, and then we endlessly go through a cycle of revising and making little adjustments until it's the best it can possibly be. And yeah, so we're super excited to show you this in April. Though at first we just want to get a touch from Evan, who is our traditional animation and FX lead.
Yeah. This is sort of the next slide. I don't think it's. Oh.
Dictionary.com.
Oh no. Okay, so yes, I am the effects animation lead. As Conor said, we haven't started animation yet, but basically for the effects animation, it's all the hand-drawn stuff that would be pretty much unreasonable to do with rigs. What we've on the top, what we have here is what we've done in Toon Week back in October, but at the bottom is stuff in the board that we plan to have as effects and what we'll have style guides for, and starting in January. So I'll throw it back to Danny.
All right, and that's all we got. We're very excited to show you this in April. Thank you so much for watching.
All right, amazing job, guys. Speeding out. Okay, so now this is where we ask our audience here and those of you at home, what'd you love? What didn't make sense? What could be stronger? What do you guys think? So I'm going to spin it around now. Audience at home and audience here. You guys, tell us something. Tell us something to believe in. So yeah.
I think it's absolutely horrible. Just like a quick, just thematic question. Why a vegetable?
It's well, like the early concept, it started off with her just being a gardener. So I thought, what vegetable, like what kind of vegetables are even an option for that? It would just be a gardener about. It would be about a gardener who has a vegetable come to life. And then I literally just looked up the fastest growing vegetable, and it was a radish, and it also happens to be very aesthetically pleasing. So it started off very early on as a radish.
Good. Any other questions? Yeah? Yeah.
I think it's great. I think all the planning was super well done in every single area. And while watching the first draft, there wasn't really anything in the story that was unclear. All the settings were really nice by the backgrounds and the storyboards, and the whole story itself was very coherent. I feel like if anything, I don't know how much of it did change at this point. The build up to the part where she doesn't really let the radish grow outside was kind of sudden. I feel like when you see the stages of the radish growing up, you can see her not wanting to go outside in the beginning, maybe afraid of dying the perspective. Yeah, the build up was just a little bit sudden, but not bad.
Okay, thank you for the feedback. That's definitely something we were thinking about, and we were constantly trying to make better. So thank you.
Yeah.
First of all, I think it's actually a really strong production. I think just bringing up what they were saying as well. Yeah, the conflict I think leads well enough where that it kind of makes sense. But I think really for me was kind of just the conflict with the turn of how we had the pamphlet at the farmer's market. Because seeing how it led to that, it led to the crowd of people who was doing science meetings and points to the people in the pamphlet is to show how you have a clear idea of what exactly you want. It's just seeing the farmer's market's wait a minute, does that mean you're going to sell them and eat them?
Yeah, okay, yeah, we actually did, that was not really brought up, but that makes a lot of sense, so thanks for bringing that up.
We got a question from online. Why doesn't she want him to leave?
Because he's weird. I mean, early in the early concept was that he's just different from everybody, and people would look at him, wouldn't really accept him as a person, and he's also a radish, he's food. So I think it's kind of like a given. But yeah, I think it's just he's particularly big, and he's not a normal baby.
All right, great. That makes sense. Another question is, when will plushies be available?
We're working on it.
Yeah, we have been talking about making merchandise and stuff. So stay tuned. It's all in talks.
You'll definitely know when merch is available. We'll tell you.
All right, back to the audience, and you have to speak loud or else Sean Craig can't hear you. So anybody else from the audience? Yeah.
you had a scene earlier in production that I saw where baby Bram is like watching TV and there's a cooking show and she has to like cover his eyes. I love that scene so much. I don't know if there's like if there's any thoughts to put it back in, but that scene's my favorite.
It was like my favorite too. Yeah, there were so many. It's literally like our Leica is over 5 minutes long, and we do have 11 people on our team, which is more than like the average. But still, like it was just a matter of like what is essential for the film and what can we take out, and we did have points where we needed to like really chop up the film, really just make really aggressive cuts to end up with what we have. But there were so many good scenes that we had to like, it was like pulling teeth, but we had to take it out just for the sake of like time and just for like our sanity moving into next semester. But yeah.
For sure. Well, it's very hard to keep the dirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, question over here.
Yeah, so just to build off what the human said earlier from back there, when there was a sudden like dark scene in the room where like the radish was watching TV and it was like dark lighting and the mail appeared on the desk and it was like farmers market. I was like, oh fuck, is there about to be a genre shift?
Well, Conor made a joke before that it is like the film noir moment.
It just switches to a 1940s noir.
Yeah.
Very funny.
Yeah, lighting. Yeah, it's hard to tell in the Leica. Obviously, there's no color, but color is going to be a really big component in how we approach the mood of the scenes, and it's gonna be like a gradient. It's gonna flow together. So I'm excited to get working on that.
From the audience as well, anything was unclear? Anything you think could be punched up or make more sense? Rob Corbett.
Oh, hello.
Hi.
Okay, so this is without question my favorite film so far. I was confused about why she flipped so suddenly. Like, I'm just wondering if like someone could like peek in the window and she could close the blind, like just something really like she's protecting him. And I thought he was going to get sold at the market.
So Rob Corbett says, why did she flip so fast on the radish? And he thought that she was going to get sold at the market.
Yeah, I would say that is a matter of also having to cut scenes because we did drag that scene a little bit longer than what you see here, where it is like a slower lead into sort of that conflict. It is just like a matter of like timing, and we did have a really long one, so we did need to like make cuts, but I think that's definitely something we can go back and rework.
And I don't think it's a bad thing that we think he might get sold there. Like there's danger, that's the issue, right?
Exactly, it plays with that same sense of conflict and worry that Shell has throughout the film. We feel that in that moment if we think what happens when he shows up at that farmer's market, so.
We also originally had Shell look around in the hallway at a couple neighbors that were kind of like giving her weird looks. But again, we had to cut out a couple of like those scenes for the matter of time.
But maybe something to give it more context. Keelan, Mario, you guys are our elders here.
Well, I was gonna say like everything kind of that has been said. I kind of agree with the I think the film itself, like it actually communicates everything really well. It's really cute. I love it. I had like a moment where I was like, oh, this is kind of like, it's reminding me of Bao, but then it manages to like divert from like that expectation or whatever, because that's such a well-known film, but it's like not the only film, of course, of that kind. So, but I think it like manages to swerve around like kind of bringing up a lot of those memories and similarities. I think, yeah, maybe like the one thing if to nitpick would be to say like maybe give a bit of back, like some kind of idea as to why she's nervous of letting him go out. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was definitely something that I was thinking about, like just while coming up with the concept.
Yeah.
Was like, this reminds me of Bao.
I had a moment, but then I was like, no, you did it. Like you did well. Don't worry.
In the beginning, it is right. No, I definitely wanted to lean more into like the monstery part, where he does get like too huge for the apartment, you know, to sort of like subvert that expectation.
No, you did subvert it. Like I think it's just
I'm gonna throw it up to Lillian up there. I just see you up there, Lillian.
Hi.
Thoughts?
First of all, I thought it was great. Congratulations on putting together a really
like solid animatic. Yeah, I got confused at the part where Shell gives the radish the envelope. So I guess, was it just mail that was coming in and it ended up on the counter and that's why he opened it?
Yeah, it was just mail. She just sat down and kind of plopped it on the table.
So I thought that she was giving him something to look at, so that she was inferring that he should.
Like, look at what you can't have.
If there's some other way for him to actually discover that, it would probably clarify her intentions a little bit too. Otherwise, it kind of
Sweet, yeah, I agree, thank you.
That's a good point. There was thoughts of like the mail coming through and him growing and grabbing it. Yeah. Or something like that. But that's a good call. And Sean says, I feel there could be more clear direction physically in the film between the apartment and the outside at the market.
Yeah, well, that was like an earlier concept too, where he could look out the window. Well, like very early on, there was a balcony, where that was like a big location in the film. When we did have to cut that pretty early on, but yeah, it was one of those things where he would basically kind of like live there and look at what he couldn't have.
All right, I think that's pretty good. Thank you, everybody. I think that's closing for there. And let's give it up one more time for our team. Team, come through. Get some more claps. All right, we're gonna pull down the next group right now. Don't touch that camera. Don't walk in front. Get out of here. Come on, get out of here. All right, end of the line, folks. Come on up. End of the line. Marc. Hey, Marc, you got to introduce this, and we're going. You're going to introduce it, and then we're going to go. So get front and center right here, and do your talk. Yeah, go.
All right. Hi, guys.
You got to shout talk.
Hello! So I'm the director for our team's film, which is End of the Line. It's a film about a young girl who suffers from, or a young woman who suffers from anxiety. And she uses a special item of hers to calm herself and ground herself in the present moment to combat that. But what happens when she loses that defense against it and is confronted with her own anxiety as well as a mysterious monster?
All right, folks, here it comes. We're gonna throw this in. These guys pulled a fast one, but they got their film in right now. So here we go. So we are gonna drop it. We're gonna drop it like it's hot. Barney. Oh, it's locked. Gotta unlock it. No, like a t-shirt that has all the characters together. Here we go. Boom.
Please stand clear of the doors.
And we are back. That one came in under the wire, and the end of it didn't quite render. So we played part of the old ending, but these guys will run you through it as they come in. So team, come on up, give us a talk, and tell us what we're going to check out right now. So I'm just going to set things up. Marc, you come in, start talking. I'll set up the other screen.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Marc. I'm the director. I think when we started off with this film, we set out with two goals. One was to make a solid film that we could all be proud of at the end of the year, and the other one was to get people talking about mental health, general anxiety disorder, which is something I feel like a lot of artists deal with. And we've already accomplished on that goal. You wouldn't believe how many people have talked or come up to me alone and talked to me about some of their struggles and personal stories. So that was something that was really important to me. And so yeah, I think overall we're happy with how this film is going. We think that we're being fairly successful. The film is about Taylor and
Switch slides.
Yep.
Just click on. There we go. Cool.
Okay. So the film is about Taylor, our protagonist. She's a young woman, and she suffers from general anxiety disorder and anxiety attacks frequently. Her comfort item is something that she uses as a defense mechanism against anxiety, and it is to ground herself in the present moment and to be mindful of her surroundings so that she can focus on the present moment. One day, when she loses that defense, a mysterious figure arrives and gives chase. At the end of the film, Taylor is confronted by him, and she learns that this monster, just like many of the problems that we face when we have anxiety, is not as bad as you once thought. He's not there to attack you. You're not going to die. You're going to get through it. And he places a headphone in her ear because he is still her comfort item, and he wants to help reduce her anxiety. So that is the overall story of our film. And all
right.
Matt, Rory, you want to talk about this? Sure. Yeah. All right. So this is Rory. He's our art director.
Hey guys. Okay. So these are the color keys I did for the film. Yeah. This time there wasn't as much visual development going on, and the board was still in progress. So there's like certain sections that might not quite like match up, but this was basically to help kind of like establish like mood to like different scenes that were in the board, that different emotions that Marc wanted to convey. Yeah, so I tried to do that.
Cool.
And
Next one.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, those are some color moments, because in the end there's going to be like a BG pan that's like kind of relaxing city lights while she's looking out the window. Cool. Yeah.
Sweet. All right, Anthony. Woo!
So I was storyboard lead for this film. I worked very closely with Marc to help bring his vision to the big screen, I guess. Yeah, it was a very collaborative process. We had like a lot of people helping out with the boards. We had a lot of struggles, but in the end, I think we got it to like a point where I'd say we can be happy with it. But unfortunately, that ending bit, it was a little cut off. It was supposed to be like the monster would transform into like the little keychain back into her hand, and it would be a nice moment to like transition back into the BG pen, but maybe you'll see it next time.
Thank you. Cool. Alrighty. Marc?
All right, so this is our main character. This is some exploration that we did. When we went over sequence week, we had a fairly solid start, and then over the course of the semester, we almost devolved. So saying evolution of our character is probably the wrong thing. This is the devolution of our character, if that's even a word. So we ended up with this character on the far right, first sequence week. We were given feedback from some teachers and from people in the team and outside the team that they preferred some of the original designs that we had. So we did revert back to her original design. Whoops. So this is our character, main character Taylor. This is our turn. We were trying to go with almost an anime/Western cohesion with the character, but also giving her some distinct features. Like the big nose was a must. We all wanted her to have that large nose. We just thought it was a very distinct feature. All right. And here are some expression sheets that Christine did for us. One of the things we really wanted to focus on when we were doing the expression sheets was get as many scared and irritated expressions as possible. We only have like, I think 1, maybe 2 happy expressions in there. But we're very happy with how these turned out as well. She's not an easy character to draw, so Christine did a great job with these.
Speaking of Christine.
All right, Christine.
I'm the rigging lead in this team,
And so for her hair, so Marc really wanted to have this hairpiece dangling in front. And I think that's the most challenging part because her face is like a huge part of the acting because we have a lot of subtle acting in this film. And then also the crop top. I think I said numerous times to Marc, I was like, Marc, the crop top has to go. So for sequence week, I was just wearing a jacket because I was so opposed to it. But now, with the help of our teachers, Anda, shout out to Anda, yeah, we made it work, and hopefully we get to animate it soon. And we have some hand swaps in there, and yeah, that's it.
Woo.
Next.
All right, me and Matt. So, hi, I'm Jonathan.
I'm Nat.
So we both collaboratively worked on the creature zipper mouth. First, it started with Marc's concept on the bottom there, the bottom left, and slowly it got more and more to what we wanted it to get to. I know Nat can talk about what she did for the one to the right there.
Initially, since we had this design that didn't really have any legs but was wrapped up in all this fabric, we had thought he would come out of the bag, and I thought maybe we could incorporate the bag into that final monster design for him. We ended up going away with the backpack and moving more towards the keychain, so instead we ended up giving him legs, and he has more of a lycanthropic look to him overall.
Yeah, so you can see that over here.
And then for your silhouette.
Yeah, so I'm super into the kind of creature design stuff, and I always start them with a silhouette, just to make sure that it's really strong. And of course, he was a slinky before, so he started out with the tail, and then we ended up going with legs because a bunch of people said, why doesn't he have legs? Why is he a snake? What is he actually? And I was like, well, that's a good question. What is he? So we made him more kind of like a lycanthrope, werewolf-ish kind of looking thing. And we really wanted to make sure that we captured kind of the structure and anatomy in him, and we played with lighting on the top right. Nat tried to incorporate like really mood lighting into his design to see what he would look like. And then we ended up landing on this for him. So I finished the rotation after a bunch of feedback from multiple people, and he was gray, and people kept asking, is he a wolf? And he is not a wolf, he's a fox. Everything that Taylor has, her phone is a fox case, her keychain is a fox keychain, and he's a fox. So we just wanted to change his color to orange to make sure that's a little bit more apparent and keep a really intimidating stature to him. He looks extremely intimidating. He's like close to 8 feet tall compared to Taylor.
And keeping that grin and that sort of elongated eye shape
very
as well.
cackly grin, Joker-esque, I guess you would say.
Very Jim Carrey mask.
Very Jim Carrey mask.
Yeah.
And yeah. Go on
Shout
to the
out
next
to Nick, who was rigging him.
Oh yeah, Nick rigged him. Shout out to Nick for rigging him.
Shout out to Nick.
And then Nat can talk about the character development here.
So a lot of the crowd development just came from looking at people on the TTC and generally just looking at people in transit and just doing a bunch of sketches, sort of looking at what kinds of people ride the TTC, what do everyday people look like, and yeah, just doing a bunch of random subway sketches and just getting images of people in real life.
Cool. All right, I'll bring up Kelvin and Alex.
Yes.
I'll go first. Hello, I'm Kelvin. I'm the prop lead and rigger. So what I worked on is the earbuds and the keychain. So the keychain was kind of a intrinsic, a bit part of our story elements because it's like the catalyst for her anxiety, the trigger, so to speak. We originally kind of wanted to have it just as like a little pouch alone. It went kind of similar to the Taylor character design route where it kind of devolved and then went backwards. Like originally it was it was a keychain but without the keys because we wanted to be like a little comfort charm. But then we realized, wait, but that's kind of weird. And so we were like, so what if we make it into a pouch and then put it so it contains a medicine ball, so the medicine and the pouch would kind of like fall out of the train. but then we're like, maybe that's a bit too complicated, and so we're like, so just put keys in it, because like when you lose keys, like I don't know about you guys, but when I lose keys, I have a little like heart attack. I blank out for like a good minute or so. So besides just combine those two elements, so she'll be like extra fearful.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Alex. I helped design the keys, and I designed the bag. For the keys, we wanted to make it more simplified, as you see for some of the first few designs, which is the top one up there. We had a more realistic, but it was recommended for a more stylized approach. And for the bag, I made a lot of variations to that. Some might say too much, but it was a journey. I was recommended to play with like stuff like gravity, a little bit of folds, and some more sharp angles for it. But I don't know. I'm happy how it turned out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. Think. Oh, probably so I continue, and the phone and stuff. Rory.
Okay, so I did a lot of visual development for the film, basically trying to find a style that would best fit for what Marc wants, and just the general mood of the film. So I was going with like more sharp edges, a lot of tapering shapes. Big inspirations were, the rise of TMNT, Spider-Verse, film noir, definitely comics. So definitely like going in that route with like real graphic shapes, and leaning a bit more towards the semi-realistic side, but stylized. Yeah, there's some seat designs. We ended up going with like the longer ones based on feedback from Anthony, because that would suit the staging better. Yeah.
Next is also you, sorry.
Oh, and this is not me. This is, we actually have now a team of 3D helpers because of certain things in the board that are going to help with moving the train around. It's going to be also a lot of that done next year, with the help of also Madison as our 3D lead. But yeah, this is stuff done by Electra, and they helped help me visualize a lot of the visual development for props in 3D form. And this also really helped out the board team clean up the boards. Yeah.
Cool. I think this is Christine, right?
Yes. Location design. So for our location design, so we mainly have one, because it's just gonna happen in the subway. So this is like the early stages where we're kind of like just like plotting things, where things would go, where Taylor would be, and then what the interior would look like. And yeah, that's it. Also shout out to Mindy, because Mindy's our layout lead. Yeah, she really helped us a lot during sequencing. So yeah, thank you, Mindy.
And more location design. I don't know if we want to talk about this one. I think of both you.
2 slides left. So. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So these are explorations. These are like pretty early on when we're still figuring out like the style, what sort of like look we wanted to have for the film, and like the level of detail, and just in general, these are what I want to create. What I want to create to help see what things could look like, environments. Yeah.
Next one. I think it's the last one, right?
Yeah. And this is just a bit of train development that I'm working on right now. I'm doing isometric views and orthographic views, which are going to help Ashley and Mindy a lot in doing the layouts, and also the 3D team. So yeah, I just wanted to create some guides to them for them to help out. Yeah.
And that's it.
Mouse. Mouse is chuggy. The mouse is chuggy. All right, we're getting here. We're getting here. We're almost there. We're almost there. Come on, mouse. Come on, mouse. All right, well, we'll talk like this. Or maybe we have to exit over here. Get out of here. Exit.
Escape.
Yeah. It's just being chuggy trying to pull it back. All right, so here we are. We're back. We're back. Everything's fine. Situation normal. And we're going to be talking to you, the audience, right here. So we'll split things up with the audience. And we're bringing in the director back. We'll bring in Marc. Look, he's right here. He's ready to go in the wings. So we're going to throw it to you guys, the audience right here. They're going to ask questions. Try to repeat them if you can for the folks at home. But what made sense? What didn't make sense? Why wasn't there an ending? These and other mysteries. We got a question in the back. Yeah?
Shout out to Ray for
It's also like a cliffhanger, so you could all be like come in for the full one later.
Choose your own ending.
Yeah. Does she die? Oh.
Okay. Looks like Keelan in the front there. Yes.
No, I just want to say, first of all, I think it's really great to have like a film that puts out a lot of like wanting to raise awareness for like talking about mental illness and like getting especially anxiety talked about and things like that. I really liked you had a lot of cool like action shots and like there's that one shot of the train like hanging out over that kind of black void. That was really cool. I guess one thing I was gonna say was I think maybe the beginning before it gets to like the kind of nightmare zone is like it could maybe be given some extra time to build things up because I felt like a lot of the film focuses on that like being in the anxiety space and like I think better kind of establishing the anxiety beforehand and like a build up to that to raise that suspense is good. It might like help kind of create a lot more tension and like fear and help like communicate that to an audience. But yeah, I think maybe just like just like add something to like build up like that descent into the fear. So it's like not so kind of snap of the fingers and you're there. Right? But yeah, no, it's coming together really.
Thank you. Yeah, that's definitely something that we've struggled with. I think the entire process of making this film was the build up. We were always trying to create the compounding incidents that would tip her over the edge, and I think we're still obviously trying to work around that. It has been it has been a struggle, I think, a little bit, but that was definitely the main focus for a lot, was how do we get her to that edge in a way that is believable for the audience, but also within the time that we have. And I think we still obviously have a ways to go with that. We did try to come up with some creative ways of doing that as well, like the whole comic sequence that came in there. That was great.
I love that. I really love that. No, I think that was awesome.
Thank you. That was one of Rory's many great ideas. Yeah, one of his many great ideas that we were trying to like figure it out, and he's like, "What about like what Spider-Verse does?" I'm like, "Yes."
I think that like really communicates the like overwhelming overstimulation.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe just like time.
Because we were thinking like, oh, we're gonna have cutaways. Okay, we gotta like, she's gotta look there, then there's gonna be someone, and then she's gotta look over there, someone doing something else, and it's like, okay, so how much of this film is gonna be just bouncing back and forth? And so we thought that was a fun way to sort of escape that issue. But yeah, I agree that I definitely think that we can still build up that anxiety more as well.
Okay, some questions here. Yeah, up in the middle.
Does Taylor's anxiety have anything to do with misophonia?
No, we just sort of gave her a general anxiety. So she's just worried about everyday events in her life. I didn't want to focus in on a specific type of anxiety. I wanted it to be relatively widespread. It was just sort of it was a choice of mine early on. So no, we did not, but I appreciate the question.
Okay, up there, yeah. Yes.
Okay, so I really liked all the transitions and the layout shifts of the train, and it was really cool. I one thing that kind of like stuck was like the catalyst was like her like losing the keychain, but then in a realistic sense, like how did she get the keychain back? Like that was just the one thing.
How does she get the keychain back realistically is the question.
Yeah, I don't know. That was just the one thing, but other than that, I really liked it. It was like really cool to watch.
To answer that question, so how does she get the keychain back? So the very
Contacts the lost going to the track like anyone does.
these are questions we've heard several times. But yeah, like I was always fighting for it to be her anxiety is so severe. It was like part of the original pitch that her anxiety is so severe that it actually corrupts her surroundings. And so I actually wanted it to happen in the real world. So I wanted it to happen in the real world, and it sort of stuck. But yeah, that's the answer to that question.
Just say it's like Fight Club. There is no keys.
There is no keys. It's like Fight Club.
Great reference.
Okay, magic. Up there, yeah. Yeah.
Was there a reason why you decided on a fox? Because there's a lot of different animals that you could have used.
Yep.
And a fox is usually used as like indicative or nice.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason it's a fox. Could have been any animal.
I remember Barney early on when we were doing the pitch. Was it Barney? I can't remember. So one of the teachers said, "Think on what you like," and I like foxes. So that was part of the very, very beginning. I remember the title was What the Fox or something like that. And then it sort of evolved into this. So like the fox was like one of the very, very, very early parts of this. And so yeah, that's why it's a fox.
That is a very valid
Okay. Girl in the middle? Yeah.
Small question. The thing that she gets back at the end, is it the same keychain or is it a new comfort item?
It's the same keychain. It's the same one that she lost. He transformed into a big monster, and she got him back at the end.
Yes.
I have two. One is very small.
Yes.
So when we first see Taylor, why are the lights flashing?
That's Barney.
Because Barney close too.
It's to
Barney, why are the lights flashing?
It's to build the mood that we're trying to set. It's like that thriller horror sort of setting. Flashing lights are very important. I think also we were trying to experiment with a reason for those flashing lights. Some of the things that I kind of think is an interesting way to go about doing it is if it's her anxiety itself that's causing those flickering lights. So every single time she has a moment of anxiousness, the lights flicker. And then it brings up, because it's going to flicker at the end before we enter the nightmare realm as well. So that's one thing that I thought could be an interesting solution for that problem. But yeah, it was a mood setting thing, and we really do want to find a very cool reason for that to be happening as well.
Rats. It's always about rats. Let's throw it up to the top. Lillian and Rob.
Without question, one of my two favorite films. I love that harsh, beautiful aesthetic you're creating for this story, especially given the subject matter. I think it's just perfect and great. I did have a question about where that other, where did the second talisman or chain come from? And I almost wonder if it's metaphoric, like maybe it needs to dissolve into her, like it's something she's created, she's found her strength within it. Maybe, I don't know. It's a question that a few people are asking.
That was
cool. Lil, what do you think?
Yeah, I really appreciate all the thought, and I love all the development work. Character design is awesome. It was really great. Cutting is great too. I think that in some of those key moments, you may want to do more cut-ins to explain, something very specific, like putting an earbud into her ear or anything where there's some very specific. It just felt like it was from very far away.
Yeah.
So you might benefit from giving more time to those spaces by giving some tighter shots.
There's more questions.
Let's get a few more online if you're there. If you're online, John, what questions do you have? Yes.
Something I thought at the ending when it cut originally was that maybe it was a person who found it and was handing it back to her, and part of her anxiety was confronting people and talking to people when she was in that. So that's kind of how I thought about maybe fixing that problem of how did she get it back. Thinking about it though, it is kind of strange that a stranger would put her earbud back in. But besides that, I think that could be something too where she's actually faced head on with something that she's anxious about, versus bringing herself back down with the keychain that kind of just came back.
Okay. Madison online says, her question is, how does it feel to slay so hard?
Feels good, feels good.
That's good. All right. Well, I think that's good for now, folks. If you have other questions, then fax them to us, and we'll take a look. So give it one more round of applause for these guys. All right, you guys go on, get out of here. We're going to bring up the last crew. So, folks, give it up for the Clouded crew. Here's the Clouded crew. Here they come. All right, give it up for Evan. Not Evan.
I'm over here.
Why are you always on the tip of my toes? All right, Aidan, take it away.
All right.
You gotta talk loud too.
Is that the word camera?
This is the camera.
Oh, that's the camera. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, hey guys. Yeah. Thank you for.
Zipper mouth.
I was at the end of the line. What do you want?
Okay.
Yeah. Hey guys. Thank you for sticking around to watch our film. My name's Aidan. I'm directing Clouded. I'm really excited to show our little film to you guys. It's about Wendy. She's a cloud girl, and she drops her prized telescope down to the earth, and she has to get it back from this stubborn little kid. Yeah, I think.
Yo, Barney, can we full screen it?
That's it. Yeah.
You're gonna get what you get. Play it again. There we go. There we go, folks. What do you think of Clouded? They liked it. Okay, they liked it. Great. All right, let's go home. Let's go home. All right. We're gonna talk a little bit of presentation action here. So we're gonna slideshow this action and share it, and we are almost there. All right. Give it up for your team here. Take it away.
Okay. Well, yeah, that was our. Is it? Oh, it's on. Okay. Yeah, that was our thing. That was our Leica. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Obviously, yeah, I'm Aidan. I directed the film, but there's all these guys that I couldn't have done it without. So, just want to take some time to introduce the squad. So yeah, I'm Aidan, and I'll pass it off to Jordan.
Top left is me, I think.
I'm Osaze, and I'm like the second black guy, but at the top.
Hey, I'm Leana. I'm the production manager, and I'm the one right next to Osaze.
Hi, I'm Angelie. I'm the character design lead, and I'm the one with the hat.
Hey, I'm Nich. I am the rigging lead, and I'm the one on the top right.
Hi, I'm Jason. I'm the one with the fro there. I'm in charge of color and sound.
I'm Luce. I'm not in charge of anything. I just live here. I'm on the end.
Okay, I'm glad everyone like knew who they were. That would have been really bad. Yeah, that was the team. So yeah, I'll just talk a little bit more about the film. So yeah, as you guys saw, the synopsis is Wendy, who she's a little bit of a painter, and she uses this telescope to kind of spot what she wants to paint. And then one day she drops it and she needs to get it back. And then she gets in this whole conflict and then realizes like that she can paint like her experiences and the friends she made along the way. So yeah, these are some of the earlier story beats and explorations of the film. I think from like the start, we wanted it to be a little story about friendship, and we wanted it to be whimsical, fun, silly, and yeah, just a little silly little film. So yeah, those are some of the earlier story beats. And yeah, I'll pass it to the storyboard guy.
Hello. My name's Jordan. I was the storyboard lead guy. Basically, you know, we started working on this, and Aidan had this idea about this like cloud lady, and I was like, oh shit, I'm sold. That sounds sick. But like, I don't think we quite knew what we wanted it to be. It was very like serious at one point, and like it was just gonna be like very like touchy, and we're gonna make the audience cry and stuff. And then like we made this really like tight board, and it was like really just like it was really clean and really good. But then we showed it to Barney, and he was just like, you guys need to like have fun, like what are you doing? So basically we chucked that one out, and then we just went crazy and we did like funny faces and like just tried to really hit those moments of comedy. And yeah, these are just my favorite shots that we ended up with. I think, you know, they're fun and they're silly and cool, so you know, I'm happy with them. I hope the director is, you know. Who's next? Oh, sorry. Character designer.
Hi. So here are the designs of Wendy and Reggie. For Wendy's design, we decided to make the shapes Wendy had rounded to give her this feeling of being a cloud. When she's feeling extreme emotions, she changes to Storm Wendy and Rain Wendy. For Storm Wendy, we tried to make her design look like a storm cloud, and for Rain Wendy, we decided to like make her hair transform into this little rain cloud that hovers above her. For Rain Wendy, we went with more blue colors to give her this feeling of her being sad. For Reggie's design, we wanted him to contrast Wendy, so we used angled shapes and have him be more square. Here's the character lineup. Here's some props that we did. We did a tractor rotation and made that into a 3D model.
Shut up, Katie.
Get up here. Here are the telescope designs and like some paintings that she's done. And yeah. Oops.
Sorry. So yeah, again, hi, I'm Leana, and these are some of the location designs. We didn't get a chance to really like nail the color just because I think we went through a lot of like script changes throughout like the process after sequence week. We had like a whole shed that Angelie and I worked on, and that got kind of like cut out of the script. So we went through a lot of changes in terms of how things are placed, and the story map changed quite a bit. But yeah, so on the left, is that left? Right? Sorry. Yeah, on the right-hand side, we have Wendy's ship and the interior. We won't see much of it in the film. Pretty much you'll see like the side with the paintings on the wall, but we really wanted to explore the spaces that she lived in, just to get a feel of, like how this character would behave and the things that she would interact with. And also shout out to Mindy. She helped us a lot with our location design, and also we've got some help from some alumni, Bree from Sikfon. And then we have the exterior of the ship down there by Angelie with some revisions by Aidan. And shout out to Christine for making the 3D model of the farm. It's helped us a lot with figuring out boards. It's gonna help us a lot down the line with layout as well, just to, just for consistency's sake. And yeah, pass it on to Jason.
Hey, I'm the guy that works on color. There wasn't a lot of color exploration at the beginning of the process of this, just because we wanted to kind of nail the story beats down, just so we can have kind of like an obvious like happy transition and resolution kind of flow going on. The main thing that we did want, though, with the earlier Viz Dev stuff was having very pastel-y colors, very saturated colors, similar to Looney Tunes, kind of I want to compare it to. With the sky being like not quite the blue we're used to, and the clouds being not quite the white we're used to, just to bring the characters out forward. Later on, hopefully when we get to the later parts and we actually start coloring, the colors are going to get a little bit more blue, where there's like more conflict between the two characters, and then the final bit's going to be a kind of Steven Universe inspired, pastel colored, kind of weird magenta sky with the same colored cloud to kind of give you that peaceful resolution at the end. Also, sorry. The sound was done by me, but also the score was done by Taylor Green, who's an amazing person who helped us with bringing out the kind of life to this Leica.
Yeah. He's in the UK. Matthew?
Hello. So I'm Nich. I'm the rigging lead. These lovely rotating lads here are rigs. As you can see, we managed to get the full rotation done for most of them. That lovely insanity that you see on the right there is the node views. So these were really fun to work on, and I've been enjoying it a lot. The biggest challenge, I would say, has been the textured lines. From the beginning, our director wanted to do textured lines, which I was like, cool, I'm down to do that. Also, how? So that's been a process to learn, but I'm getting I've gotten comfortable with it now, and really glad I got to kind of explore that. There's also the arms and the legs, which were a bit tricky because initially we had them as like one-piece noodle limbs, with one curved form running down the whole thing. But we ended up switching up to 2-part legs, but they're kind of hybrid between noodle and regular limbs. So it's been a really cool kind of exploration process with those. And yeah, that's it.
Get up here, Luce, you crazy guy.
Luce. I like doing hand-drawn animation, so that's this. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah.
Nice one, guys.
Thank you, sir.
All right. But now it comes to the moment. Now it comes to the real moment. Did anybody like it? It sounds like they did. It sounds like they loved it. So let's drill into a little bit. What didn't make sense? What could be better? What could be stronger? Because we're not coming here from praise. We're coming here for Rob Corbett. Yes.
Okay, so, without question, one of the top so much fun. Like, so much fun. I found the moment where the whole thing transitions was a little rushed. Like, I want to see her fight that. She's just like blown up the whole freaking universe, right? And just a little inner fight to give in. I think that moment can be milked. And the humor at the beginning, I'd love to see it sort of dotted through that beautiful flight sequence, like a near miss with a bird or the space shuttle or something. Like, you've got all that great humor going on, and then it becomes lovely and beautiful. Just maybe thread a little of that comedy in.
A bird, you say?
But maybe a squirrel. So much fun.
Thank you. We had a bird in the flight sequence. I don't know what happened to it.
I know what happened.
We can definitely talk about bringing it back. I'm
so down. I'm so down.
We have the rig. It was in the character lineup earlier, so it's there. Yeah.
He's like, why did she forgive him? It seemed like they kind of like she was upset for like a second, and then she was like, oh, I'm good actually.
It was like,
I'm confused.
Like he broke her thing, and she was super upset about it, and then I think she had this kind of shift in perspective where it's not so much the dainty little telescope that he gives her that she likes, but it's kind of like the act of like, this is this kid that wasn't giving her this thing back through the whole film, and then towards the end there he's like, here's something that I own, and it was kind of that act that brought her back. But yeah, some clarity there could definitely enhance it.
Let's go to Lillian at the top there.
Yeah, also I really loved the humor, and I thought you guys did a great job of just really engaging everyone with the acting in the boards. Same with Rob, I felt like that moment where she receives the other telescope. Is there like a difference between the telescopes? Is it basically the same? Like, I mean, I thought it was a magical telescope, and his was a little bit more of a toy telescope. But maybe if there's a way to create a difference, or if it's not a telescope, it's like a little camera or some kind of thing that he uses to view things, and just give a different object that also can translate into something meaningful for her, might give a nicer contrast. Because if it's just another telescope, what is it that makes that as special as what she had originally?
Actually, yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, thank you. Oh, yeah?
I was thinking when he gave her the telescope that she was going to screw off like a glass and replace the broken glass. So maybe that could be a way to write that down.
Yeah.
If he fixes it, he doesn't just give her like a crappy.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, I'm into it. Yeah.
So the idea is maybe screwing off the broken glass and putting on cardboard glass.
Yeah.
That would fix it.
Yeah.
Another question. Right here.
Yeah, I thought the kid's telescope was gonna be something like different on the inside, like a kaleidoscope or something. There's gonna be something different to hers in a way where she could still use it, but
Yeah, like a camera or something could
something
definitely.
like that.
Yeah, true. Very true. Yeah.
The flight sequence looks really, really fun. I like the faces made with like the cloud facial hair.
Oh, thank you. Jordan knocked that scene out of the park. Oh my god. Like, yeah. That's his child.
We might add a bird though.
No! Anything else? So the transition, getting mad, bother people. Anything else? Didn't quite make sense? Yeah?
I think, and I think that was already said, but the resolution, did happen a little bit quickly. I think, I don't think you need to add anything. I think you could just hold on some shots that were there, like having her look at the telescope and having Reggie slowly walk up to her, I think would really sell that emotion a lot.
Mm. Yeah. I agree. Good point.
Is that the director of Homegrown?
Oh, yeah.
Basically to piggyback off of Evan's point, I think it's one thing to kind of sell that is just maybe show a shot of Reggie realizing what he did. He's like, oh shoot, maybe I shouldn't have done that. I think just showing him maybe reacting and feeling bad about it, and then holding on that, and then just giving a little bit more time for the audience to let it sink in and feel what both of them are feeling, and then she realizes that he feels bad. So I think that could help sell that a little bit more. I think a lot of it is just timing.
Cool, yeah, for sure. Thank you.
A couple online questions and comments. One is, I love the sound effects and the faces used, very SpongeBob vibes. From Angie. And Sean Craig says, is Wendy's cloud body going to have any sort of animated effects in their designs? Nick's stress level rises immediately.
We've discussed doing a line boiling effect, so that might end up going in there. But we'll have to see and test how that looks. But in terms of clouds coming off her, that would probably be effects.
Yeah. It's gonna be a very effect heavy film, hopefully. Yeah. Anything else? Oh, yeah.
Two in the middle. Yeah.
Yes.
I guess this is kind of just reiterating what everyone else has been saying, but while I do think that the whole emotional breakdown that she has was, and then everything kind of after that, from the climax to the resolution, was kind of sort of an emotional speed run. I do agree that people that was kind of felt a bit rushed, but also I feel like it kind of also works in a way because with how fun and expressive both of the characters are and how strong the personalities, I think while they did have an immediate conflict, it was also kind of felt not too serious and kind of had a connection. I feel I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense, but
I like this advice.
That's great. Yeah. No, definitely. And I think timing is one of those things that is still a process, and we're definitely gonna have to go through it and really nail that down. Especially if comedy is a main factor of the thing. Comedy is all timing. So yeah, it's gonna be something that we're gonna be looking at throughout the production.
Yeah, I really just think it's probably just timing that you have to fix.
Mm-hmm. And some people online say color too. Code Blue says red lightning when she's mad would look cool too. Love the film. And Angie says probably dark blue eyes and grays like a thunderstorm.
Yeah. I would definitely it needs to be she's gonna maybe kill me moment. So yeah, for sure.
Maybe last questions in here, yeah?
Yeah, just going off of those online comments, I was thinking, because there was such a stark contrast in the design and color choices of her angry design compared to her normal and rainy one, that I kind of had trouble discerning the normal and rainy one. At first, at least in the character lineup, it's a little bit hard to kind of differentiate a little bit. It's the colors are slightly darker on the rainy one, but it's not as obvious. I will say in your color I forgot what it's called, but that color board looking thing, it was a little bit more obvious, but that's just something to wanted to maybe up the contrast between the three designs to make it a little bit more obvious.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, for sure. Thank you for pointing that out. Yeah.
Okay.
Look at that.
And up in the middle.
Yeah, first of all, really funny. I enjoyed it a lot. For me, just to like add on to the that emotional, conflict part. I think the issue for me with the boy trying to make up for the lost telescope with his own telescope was that literally earlier in the short, it was kind of already established that both of these characters don't value this telescope as much as her telescope. So maybe that's something to consider.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, well, definitely. Yeah, we're gonna look at like all those like character telescope interactions. Like that dynamic is something that's very important to the film because it's such like a prominent, like it's such a like important prop to it, and like it's what is like the reason behind their whole like interaction and dynamic. So yeah, definitely like figuring out like their priorities with the objects is like something that we're gonna hopefully nail down in the winter.
We'll talk to our lawyers.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you, audience. Thank you, audience at home. Give it up for these guys. And give it up for these guys again. There's the whole crew. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in to the old Seneca 2D fluff. Let's just edit that out. The Seneca 2D stream. Thank you folks for tuning in. It's been a real slice to share these cartoons with you. If you have any other ideas, then give us a shout, message on here, or message any one of us, or tell Conor. It'll be great. That's it for us now. We thank you, especially for coming and watching in person. And if you're watching this later online, well, you're second special to us, but we love you anyway. So we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.